It's been about a week since I last worked on this ES-175, and I'm happy to note that the guitar is holding up well under string tension. It doesn't seem to have, any issues with the set of 11s that I put on here. I've also gone through and had some pretty good success removing all of the shellac that was on the back here. If you remember in the previous video, the whole body, looks like it was basically dipped in shellac. So I went back with, a lot of denatured alcohol and some towels and just kept rubbing on the back to see if I could improve it, and I certainly could. I've also did a little bit on the sides, but here you can see there's all sorts of crust. To really go through and remove all of this shellac on the body, I'm going to need to take all the parts off, and that's what I'm going to do right now on time lapse. Once I see, how things look, then we can kind of figure out the order of operations next. After taking off the tailpiece, the tuners, and the truss rod cover, it would appear that not a whole lot has ever been done up here. If you look at the truss rod, there's plenty of threads on it. It's not clear if it's ever been turned or not. I would suspect it has, but hasn't been monkeyed with a whole lot. And it looks like there was a bone nut that was put in, replacing whatever might have been there before. And so, again, this really lends itself to, this could be somebody's really prized guitar. And so the next thing I'm going to try is actually to remove some of this shellac from this big area here. I'm going to leave the electronics in place for now until I figure out what I'm actually going to do as a finishing and refinishing process. When I was working on the back, I would soak a paper towel in denatured alcohol and then start rubbing the finish off. As I read a little bit more online, I'm going to try a different technique, which is just to soak the paper towel in denatured alcohol again, but actually just leave it in place and let the alcohol kind of soften everything up. Hopefully that removes the amount of elbow grease I need to start removing this shellac. See, we're good and soaked here, so I'm just going to leave that for a few minutes and see where it gets me. So it's been about a pop song's worth of time with the denatured alcohol towel just sitting here on the guitar, and you can already see it's taking apart the finish. I'm not worried about the fact that this is coming apart because we're going to continue to rub it some more. But this is a great sign. The area from here to here now has had the shellac softened up. And so now we're just going to take some more towels and some more rubbing alcohol and actually start to rub off this finish. So you can see it's done an amazing job already, and this is definitely the technique I'm going to use to get the rest of the shellac off the top. You can see from here to here, the difference in color is so great, and the difference in sort of sheen, and that's just because I was able to take off all the shellac. And so probably do this on time lapse or just as a series of start and stop videos, because I'm going to leave the towel on there to soften up the finish and then continue to wipe it off. And then once I get around the electronics areas, maybe I'll do a little bit more of actual video. been about 45 minutes, and you can already see, you know, a huge difference in terms of the amount of shellac that remains on the top of this guitar. I've gone through, undone the pickups, and just put them inside the guitar for now. As I mentioned before, I really would like to not undo any of the electronics if I can. But definitely making progress. Now the top has at least most of the shellac taken off. The back has most of the shellac taken off. And now I'm going to work on the sides, which, you know, sort of look ridiculous in their own right. I wiped them off before to get some of the shellac off, but then whatever this whole thing represents, we'll figure it out. But I'm going to stop the video here just because, you know, most of the time I'm just going to be going through and trying to make the finish, you know, keep taking off the shellac. So there's nothing too interesting about that. But in the next video, I will probably work on the neck, taking off the frets and possibly refretting it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.